All right, no spawning pools yet. In the center left location, we have our competitive Warcraft 3 player. Very unique style, very roach heavy. We'll see if it's going to be that case in this game. He is
Check Prime Win.
Check. That's a pink keyboard.
Yeah,
That's a manly man.
I believe that's actually a Philco.
That is a man who is comfortable with his masculinity. Confident enough to have a pink keyboard. Over here in the upper, well, I guess in the top center.
SuperNova.
It's actually a really good keyboard too. Good old Q-Sen for Mr. Nova.
Now, we see, we know for sure, at least, that our blue Terran, SuperNova, is going, what? Oh.
Looks like we're going to see 2 barracks pressure. Very strong build here, of course. If you haven't seen from the last GSL Code S, SC Foyu against Nesty. Holy crap. Turn us off and go watch that.
Yeah, that was actually amazing.
Yeah. But he showed, and I think that Terrans are going to start following that again, that, hey, guess what? 2 racks pressure, it's still probably the best build against Zerg
Well, the thing is that you can actually do the stutter micro with the Marines.
Yeah.
So much that actually you're going to kill like an innumerable amount of Zerglings.
Yeah.
And that's it's hard to do. It's even the word innumerable is hard to say sometimes.
Sometimes
it's
is
a tough word,
And something innumerable, it's very hard to count to.
Yeah.
And even when it's numerable, it's still hard to count to it.
Yeah.
Use up all your fingers.
Yeah.
You start taking off your shoe, and then you're going to take off your sock.
It's not a fun word like guacamole.
No, guacamole.
Guacamole is a fun word.
I love guacamole.
But innumerable is pretty tough. Now, spawning pool is only just now going to finish. And even if Terran doesn't kill the Zerg, he should be able to delay the Zerg from actually getting an expansion on the low ground. Excuse me.
Gonna slow down at least. There are 6 lings on the way, so looks like Czech has learned a little lesson from Nesty. If you only make the 4 lings against this double barracks opening, then it's like super duper hard to actually hold off the initial pressure. So making 6 to 8 lings against something like that is actually preferable. And in fact, he's making 8, which is exactly what Nesty did. So very good job by Czech doing his homework and watching the greatest Zerg in the world and taking what's best of him and combining it into Czech himself.
Taking notes.
That's what you gotta do, man. Little build or notebook. That's what it's all about.
And here comes the hatchery. As you can see, SuperNova will expand as he does his strategy. The goal is to end up ahead after crippling your opponent enough, with that expansion. And so, of course, they have less Zerglings, which means less drones. Terran can, of course, make SCVs from the command center and Marines from the barracks, which, of course, it's a little bit different for them. They make everything from the larva. So here's the thing, though.
Speed is about to finish.
Now, you got to be careful when you're tearing you out on the map like this.
Yeah, you really do. And in fact, more Zerglings are joining up. And as Speed finishes, he can take out that group of Marines. He has to be careful, though. If they get into the corner, they can be pretty cost efficient. But they were moving out, and they will get into the corner a little bit. But he's got much more surround than he even needs, and will take out every Marine. That was almost free for Czech. Czech has to feel good about that.
Well, he's off to a good start.
He is indeed. He's going to see the triple barracks wall, very standard. Work on the rocks, very standard yet again. And that's going to force a bunker on top of the ramp for SuperNova. Top of the ramp to the 3rd. Good little ins and outs.
Our SCVs under attack.
Makes the tech lab here. And Czech is, in a good place right now. He basically did not allow that rush to do any damage. He's just doing a good job overall. Looks like the Zerg Czech will manage to get his this bunker, excuse me, not bunker, this destructible debris over here destroyed. That will open up a little bit of an opportunity to counterattack.
No way to really stop that.
No. Well, not after you lost all those Marines at the start to the speed Zerglings.
Yeah, exactly. Can't really walk out and cope. Stim on the way, 4 barracks are up. I'm interested if he's just going to try to hit a 4 barracks stim timing. Or maybe add a bunch of barracks like we saw SC do.
I think he's going to take a page out of SC Foyu strategy book here and just do a lot of pressure in the mid-game. Really try to suffocate the Zerg
Well, Czech right now making another hatchery, getting a lot of drones and a Roach Warren, because that's what Czech does, man. He goes Roach in this matchup. And I think it's probably a pretty good choice. Should help him to hold off any Marine pressure that does come. But with 2 Tech Labs, SuperNova can pump out a bunch of Marauders, and in fact, starting some Marauders right now.
Here's the hatchery on the way. And, you know, it's going to be a game where if Czech can handle the pressure from the mid-game, he'll be fine. Czech's one of these guys, like, I think if the less he's touched or bothered in a game, the better off he is.
His crisis management is somewhat lacking.
Yeah, I think so.
And a factory goes up. All right, so we're not going to see this super hyper-aggressive. In fact, 2 factories are going up.
Interesting.
Looks like I bet
might
he'll
go
do
for
just
blue
a
flame
small
Hellions?
pressure. You think? I think
Well,
what we're
maybe.
going to see...
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Zerglings already have speed. I could see him trying to, assuming that the Zerg would segue then into Baneling Zergling with Muta.
The one thing you have to take into consideration, that would be true against a normal Zerg Tasis, but this is Czech.
Yeah.
Czech always goes Bane Roach. That's like what he does. So I think the best choice is, of course, do this pressure that we're about to see, and then follow it up with 2 factory siege tanks. Roach Baneling against 2 factory siege tanks Tasteless.
It's going to melt.
It's going to be gross. It's going to be like throwing your ice cream into the sun.
Oh my God.
That would melt pretty fast.
My cookie dough ice cream?
Cookie dough ice cream melted.
No.
The ice cream, the cookie dough itself.
The cone it's in?
Yeah.
He's only just
The
now
paper
starting
around the
Banelings.
cone.
This is actually a little bit disconcerting. He's turtled with his structures, but of course Terran can just shoot it down.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm wondering why his structures were like that. That was like an anti-Hellion thing, but
Right.
he has roaches and creep. So Hellions aren't actually the issue. So I'm actually a little bit upset about that building structure.
You want to talk about it?
No, not more than I already have.
All right.
Thank you, though.
No problem.
I appreciate that, because a lot of people would not ask me that. They'd just be like, all right, you're dumb. But
I'm a good guy. I'm a sensitive, nice guy.
you are. And now Czech is going to be really late on that +1 melee. So that's a little bit painful. Now let's take a look at these drone counts and SCV counts. We have 47 SCVs right now, 48 for SuperNova. 56 drones for Czech. So he's got a very nice economy going. Not a ton of gas
And
yet.
you were totally right, Artosis. He's going to mass up a ton of siege tanks.
That's how you play Czech. There's actually a Czech playbook that you can download, PDF file, on the OGS computers.
Right now.
Ways to beat
you mean
Czech.
the prime computers. Some nerd right now is actually Googling it, poor guy.
Yeah. He's like, can I get this PDF? I'm like, no, man, you can't get a game against Czech either. What do you want, man?
Well, he's moving out with some Zerglings around the map. Same with the Marauders and the Marines. And Czech, this is where Czech starts to play a lot better as he just sits back and sort of masses up.
Yeah. You know, I wish he had more creep tumors out. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. He has extra energy on his queens. He can afford to make some extra creep tumors.
It's not like he needs it for transfusion because Banshees aren't coming.
Yeah. You need a lot of creep to go Baneling Roach.
Uh-oh.
You really do. But look at this. This is going to get all the way
this is
up
gonna be
there.
pretty scary.
And Czech has a lot of Zerglings. Baneling speed has just started. This is actually going to be such a brutal thing we're about to see. 4 siege
And he's
tanks.
putting bunkers in the back. He knows even if he loses the majority of this push, he's going to have bunkers up by then.
It's
Nice
a lot of Banes.
scan.
But again, speed it's not done yet. And he can hit the Baneling nest from where he is.
Oh my God, that means Baneling speed. Look, this is why you don't want to put your structures out like that in a situation like this, because they're actually going to shoot down your structures without even actually breaching your base. He may very well stem a small number of units into that expansion area. In fact, he is.
It's the way to do it. Smikering a little bit down there.
He's hoping to have these Zerglings and Banelings absorb some siege tank shots, excuse me.
So it looks like Baneling's speed will finish before he has to hit. So will Roach speed. This is
Man, this is so scary. Look at that.
Yeah. No, this is actually SuperNova knows exactly how to kill Czech.
Yeah.
Czech, he is a little bit too stylistic.
Yeah, I mean, it's people have identified what he does, you know?
Yeah.
Whoa!
But here we go. That is so many Banelings just rolling in here. But siege tanks plus bunkers
Yeah, it's
equals
just
everything
not
dies.
enough. And that should I think, be the killing blow there. Check sort of allowed him to siege up outside of his base. He allowed him to shoot down his structures due to the poor placement of it. What a game. I didn't realize SuperNova was going to outclass him this badly. This is actually painful.
Well, here's the thing. I think overall, skill-wise, they're a lot closer to what this looked like, but Czech at this point has become too stylistic, and you're not going to be a player that really knows your style like this.
Well, this is the difference between somebody like MVP and somebody like Czech, because people just know what Czech does now.
Yeah. You can't just play one style.
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna get
unless it's the absolute optimal style and you play it unbelievably well.
Yeah, so GG. There you have it. SuperNova, a well-deserved win. He moves on to the round of 32.
He does indeed. Totally one-sided series, just like the last one we just saw. Czech, he has not had a good few months, Tasteless.
I feel bad for the guy. He has to do his military service soon, I believe, right?
Well, he's been thinking about it. He's been due to do it for a while, but he's been a pro gamer for years, so he's been putting it off. And he's been thinking about it lately because he just hasn't been, succeeding as much as he wants to. I mean, obviously a great StarCraft 2 player, but is he considered amongst the top pros? No, he's not. We have to be serious here. No, he's not.
No, he's not.
And he's not winning a ton of money, which is the reason why you would skip doing this mandatory military service.
In case you guys are confused about what we're talking about, there is compulsory military service for all able-bodied Korean men.
Yes.
So you can, stretch it out to the point where you don't have to do it in a few more years. Normally I think, you go in there in about your 20s. Sometimes right when you finish school. Sometimes people do it before school. But it's about a 2-year service. And some of these guys have been pro gamers for long enough. They've sort of opted not to. Well,
they just push it back and back.
But eventually you have to do it. So, yeah.
We may see him go down that road soon,
We may not see him in GSL for much longer if he's not having much more success in pro gaming.
Yeah. It's definitely a possibility.
I don't want to see that because I'd love to have him.
No, it's always sad
when
a pro gamer, we lose a pro gamer to that.
Yeah.
It happens, though, man.
It does. So that's going to bring us to our final best of 3 here. I think
these last 2 series have been very, very fast.
Very short. I can't believe he actually 6-pooled in that first game. That was insane. All right, our Korean commentators have wrapped it up, so we're going to have a 2-minute break. We'll be right back, though, here at the GSL.
Let's get down to business, yeah. I don't play around when the club shuts down. I'm a zombie out to kill this, yeah. Midnight mashing, no mansion, Holiday Inn, and champagne splashing. Free wine with the parties, movement and frank music, we party crashing. Get love in the AM, get love in the AAM, get love in the AM, get love in the AAM.